Hello everyone, good morning. Myself Mullidhar Reddy. I'm a DevOps consultant and solution architect. Now we are going to discussing about creating a web application using Maven. Let's see the demo so that you will get some idea. If you remember earlier we have generated jar file and we use the table life cycles, we generated jar file, right? And this is our Java application. If you see here, this is our Java application, correct? Now what you have to do, Java application, we generated the jar file. Now in real time, we also having that web application. It means it will be generate the jar file. How do we do? For that one, I'm going to here, and here I'm using that MVN archetype colon generate. Using that MVN archetype colon generate, will be generate the web application project, and then we'll be create the jar file, var file. Okay. Now for that one here, I'm giving MVN archetype colon generate. Okay, MVN archetype colon generate. Now you can enter, and here you can see that here you can get it. So here we can see that the number is 2223. Okay, as I said, right, whatever you're giving that default value, this it will be generate the jar file. But in our case, we need to generate a var file, right? For that one, you can go up 2223. 2223. 1 second. 2223. Yeah, if you see here, this is a 2223. It is generating the jar file. Maven archetype kickstart means it will be generate the jar file. But here you have to remember after this number, any number, guys. Currently, in my case, the number is 2223. But in May, when you are doing right, it may be different one. That is fine. After this jar related number, right? Please go 4 to 5, and then you can get it here. Maven archetype web app. Here you can see that 2229, that is Maven archetype web app. It means it will be generate the web application. So if you want to generate the web application, you need to define this 2223, not the 2223, 2228. Now you can enter, and here you can see that Maven archetype web app. You need to select the specific version. You can select any version. Example, I'm giving 5. 5 means it will be download that 1.0, and then you can enter. It is downloading from central repository. If you see here, it is downloading from central, that is repo.maven.apache.org. Okay, fine. Now here it is asking that group ID. If you remember, group ID is nothing but company, that particular domain name. Example, com.techworldwithmurali. Okay. Usually techworldwithmurali.com, right? It will be reverse name like com.techworldwithmurali, com.tcs, com.hcl, Capgemini, something like that. Okay. Now here what I'm doing, here I'm giving that techworldwithmurali. Here you have to remember, guys, it is not mandated to mention like this. Some of the projects, they may follow different process. Usually will be defined like this, techworldwithmurali. Now we can enter. And here it is asking that artifact ID. What is the artifact ID? Artifact ID is nothing but project name. What is the project name? I'm giving that web project, web application project, web hyphen or web application. Web application hyphen project. Okay, now you can enter. Now here it is asking that version. This is the snapshot version. You can mention same 1.0, 1.0 hyphen snapshot, just enter. Remember, just if you enter right, it will take the default value, this one. Okay, same thing here. You have to remember group ID, package name, both are same only. If you want, you can change it, but not required, just enter. Now here you can see that group ID, artifact ID, what is the version? And here it is asking that yes or no. If I give yes, right, what will happen? It will be generate the web application. Okay, now we can enter by, now if you see here, it is created the web application hyphen project, and here we can see that build is succeed. Okay, fine. Now what you can do, now you can give the LL command, and here we can see that only Java project earlier we discussed. Now we are going to discussing about web application project. Okay, now what you can do, you can go here, web application project, and here you can give it LL, and here we can see that one is pom.xml and also src folder as well. And now what I'm doing here, I'm giving the tree dot, enter. Now if you see here, when we use the tree command, right, what will happen? It will be display the structure of subdirectory, subfiles, everything. If you see here, one is pom.xml, one is src. We have only main. We don't have any test cases related directory. And also, if you observe here, our pom.xml, sorry, our Java-based application jar file related structure is little bit different. Web application structure is a little bit different. If you see here, main resources, web app, and then web-inf, web.xml, and also index.jsp file. These are the default structure. But in real time, we'll be write that .java files inside here and also test classes files as well, everything. But default structure of this particular web application project, this one. Let me compare this existing one. And here you can see that I'm in the Java project in the different command prompt. Okay, now here what I'm doing, I'm giving here mvn clean. First do the mvn clean. Okay, so that it will be delete our target directory. So now I'm giving 3 dot. If you observe here, this is our Java project, right? That is it will be generate the jar file. And here you can see that src main test, and here we have a .java files, .class files. But when it comes to that web application, and here you can see that we have only this structure. But we can define, we can write .java files, .class files for web application also. But what I'm saying here, when you create the default project, it will be like this. But later we have one of the microservice user-registration, that is a web application only. Later I will show you what is the structure, everything. Okay, you will get some idea. Okay, any questions now? Fine. Now what we can do, we can use this particular Maven build life cycles. We can run it and we can verify what are the things, everything. Okay. For that one, right? First I'm doing that mvn validate. When you do the mvn validate, what will happen? It will be validate your pom.xml whether you define correct or not. If everything's fine, here it is showing that build success. It means this is fine. But this particular the validate related, it won't be use any plugin. Remember one thing. Okay. Now here I'm using next command. What is the next command? mvn compile. When you use the mvn compile, what will happen? It will be compile it will be generate jar or var file. But in our case, sorry, it will compile the .java to .class files. If you see here, mvn compile means it will be compile our .java files to .class files. Now we can check it here, mvn compile. mvn compile. Now we can give it mvn compile. Now enter. Sorry, I gave the wrong command. Cancel it. mvn compile. Okay, mvn compile. Now you can check it here. Now here you can see that compiler plugin using, but here it is showcasing that no source to compile. The reason no sources to compile. The reason, if you see here in our structure of web application, we don't have any .java files. That's why it is showing that no sources to compile. But in real time, we'll be having guys. But in our case, sample web application, we don't have any .java files. That's why it is showing that no sources to compile means we don't have any .java files. That's why. Okay, understand, right? But it is created the target directory. But inside the target directory class files, right? It is not generated. The reason our web application project, we don't have any .java files. That's why you are not seeing here. Okay, any questions here now? Clear, right? But in Java based application jar file, right? There we have a .java file. That's why it is generated that class files from .java to .class files. But in our case, we don't have in the web application. Okay, fine, super. This part is clear. Next one, mvn test. Test is nothing but whatever we have a app test.java files, it will convert to app test.class files. From .java files, the test cases related .java files to test class related to .class files, it will be converted. Okay, understand it? Now what I'm doing here, I'm giving that mvn test. Let's see. When you do the mvn test, it will be use that Surefire plugin. If you see here, when you use that mvn test Surefire plugin using, but the test cases also, it is showcasing like no test to run. The reason, again, I'm saying our web application, we don't have any app test.java files, test classes related Java files. That's why here it is showing that no test to run. Clear, right? No test to run. But if I go to the web application, Java based application, I'm just giving that mvn test. Let's see. If I do that mvn test, right? Here you can generate. The reason we have a app test.java files, right? That's why. If you see here, I can show you compiler plugin also, it is generated. It is compiling one source code file with, and also source file plugin also it is generated the specific one. Okay, it is generated the test classes. But in our case, we don't have any test cases. That's why it is showing that in the web application, we don't have any test cases. That's why it is showing that no test to run. Here again, I'm repeating, in real time, we'll be having whether it is Java based or web application, .java files will be there. It will be show that compiled. But the thing is, why we are using default project, that particular default project, we don't have any .java file. That's why it is showing that no sources to compile. Similar for test cases also, we don't have any test cases. That's why it is showing that no test to run. Now we can check a tree command. Let's see. If you see here, when you do the tree dot, even if you did the ambient test, it is not generated anything. That the reason with this particular application, we don't have any test classes related Java files. Okay, clear. Any questions now? Now what you have to do? I'm going to use the MVN package. What it will do? It will be generate var file, because in our case, inside the pom.xml, we'll be having the var file, right? Let's see what are the things is available inside the pom.xml. Go to the pom.xml. Similar guys, whether it is jar file or var file, the specific pom.xml configuration, it is almost same. If you see here, module version, group ID, whatever we mention, group ID, right? techworldwithmurali, that one. Artifact ID is nothing but whatever we mention, web application project, and here you can see that packaging var. It will be generate the var file. If you are not defining this var file, what will happen? Packaging tag. What will happen? It will be default. It will be generate the jar file only. Okay, and here we can see that version, the specific snapshot version, that is 1.0 iPhone snapshot, and here you can see that name, Maven project, Maven web app, and here you can see that the URL and dependency. Here we can see that JUnit related plugin, that is 3.8.1. Okay, when you do that ambient test, right, it will be use this particular version, this particular group ID, artifact ID, it will be use it. And the build, right, here you can see that final bit of that, whatever generating the jar file, right, it will be coming like this, web application project.jar var file, not the jar var file. Okay, now I can go here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a MVN package. When you do the MVN package, what will happen? First, it will be validate, compile, test, and then it will be packaged. It will be generate that particular one. If you see here, it is going on. It is downloading that specific plugin from central repository. Here we can see the central repository, and here you can see that the particular target directory, the jar var file also generated. Here you can see that var file. Now we can check it. Tree dot. Remember this particular var file also, it use that plugin. Let me show you that plugin name as well before going to do that tree command. Again, I'm running so that you can do that. Here you have to remember, when you are running first time, it will be download from central repository. If you once download a central repository, it won't to go again central repository. It will be taken from cache. Okay, and here you can see that it is used that var plugin. Earlier for Java based application, right, it used the jar plugin. Here it is using var plugin, that is a specific version 3.4.0. Okay, clear, right? And here it is generated the var file. Now you can go here, tree command dot. Now here you can see that inside the target directory, it is generated the var file as well. Okay, it is generated the var file. Any questions now? Any questions now? Okay, this part is clear. Awesome. Now what you have to do? Go here. I'm using that MVN verify. When you do the MVN verify, it will be validate, compile, test, package. It will be verify our jar or var file. In our case, it is var file, right? It will be verify our var file whether it is good or not. Usually 99.90%, 99% it will be var file or jar file. It will be good only. Okay, even if you do that MVN verify, it will be it will be show like build success. The reason it will be review that var file if everything's fine or not. If it is everything fine, it will be show that build success. But this particular MVN verify, it won't be use any plugin, guys. Okay, fine. Now you can go here, MVN install. What it will do, when you do that MVN install, it will be generate that particular, whatever generated jar or var file, right? It will be copied to the .m2 directory. Let's see. If you see here, MVN install. I'm going here, MVN install, enter. When you do that MVN install, here you can see that first it will be validate, compile, test, package, verify, and then the particular whatever install plugin. If you see here, this is the install plugin specific version, and here you can see that the specific var file, right? Var file, it is copied to .m2 directory. What we did for Java application, right? Similar for web application also it is stored it. Now we can go to this particular location and we can verify. This is the root directory. The reason I'm in the root directory, the particular whatever user, right? Inside the root directory, .m2 directory. Inside the .m2 we have a repository. There we have a com.techworldwithmurali is nothing but the group ID whatever we mentioned, and then this is our artifact ID, and then the snapshot. Inside the snapshot we can see that the specific WAR file, that is web application project, the snapshot added. Okay, now we can go ahead and check it so that you will get some idea. For that one, right? I'm in the PWD. Okay, I'm in the root directory, and you can give it ls-ls so that you can see that hidden files .m2 dot related one, and here you can see the .m2 directory. Go to the .m2 directory, and then you can give the ll command, and here you can see that repository. Go to the repository. Okay, now you can give the ll command. Okay, and then here you can see that com directory. Remember, com.techworldwithmurali means com directory. Inside the com directory we have a techworldwithmurali. If you go here, I'm going to that com directory and then enter, and here you can see that techworldwithmurali. Okay, go to the techworldwithmurali, and here you can see that this is a web application project. Web application project. I'm going to the web application project, that is artifact ID, and here you can see the snapshot. That is 1.0 snapshot. And then here we can see that the particular WAR file and also form file as well, .com file. Okay, everything is copied to this particular .m2 directory. Okay, remember when you do that mvn clean command, right? Even if you do the mvn clean command, it will be delete the target directory. If you delete the target directory also, the particular files will be existing inside the .m2 directory. Okay, fine, super. Now we can go to the root directory. Now here you can see that web application. Okay. Now you can enter ll. Now what is the next command? I'm going to use the mvn deploy. If you do the mvn deploy, it will be run before command. What are the major uses of mvn deploy? If you want to be store your jar or var file to the either Nexus or JFrog artifactory, then we'll be use the mvn deploy. When you use the mvn deploy, before going to use it, you have to define Nexus or JFrog details inside the form.xml. That is a distribution management. There you need to define that the specific URLs, that Nexus snapshot or release URLs you need to define. But in our case, we haven't defined anything. Just I'm going to run this mvn deploy. Let's see what will happen. Okay. Now here you can do that mvn deploy. When you do the mvn deploy, what will happen? It will be validate, compile, test, package, verify, install. Then it will be valid. It will be deploy. Here it is using that deploy plugin, that is 3.1.2. That is the latest version, because we haven't declared any inside the pom.xml. If you're not define anything inside the pom.xml, what will happen? It will be download from central repository. That is the latest version. But when it comes to the real time, right? We always define that specific version inside the pom.xml only. Later I will show you. Okay, we have a exploring pom.xml options session. There I will be covered that all the options with the example so that you will get some idea. Okay, fine. And here you can see that when you do that mvn deploy, it is showing that inside the pom distribution management we haven't defined. Don't worry, I will show you when it comes to that Nexus and JFrog. During that time, there I will be define that Nexus related details inside the pom.xml and also JFrog related, and then we'll be push our either jar or WAR file to the Nexus or JFrog artifactory so that you will get some idea. Any questions now? Okay. And here again, I'm repeating. Why I'm repeating multiple times? Whether you're really aware of Maven or not, they can easy to identify you asking this build life cycles. Okay. If they ask like when you do that mvn deploy, what will happen? You directly go and say like, hey, when you do that mvn deploy, it will be store our Nexus jar for R file to the jar or WAR file to the Nexus or JFrog artifactory. Before going to that, you have to tell when you do that mvn deploy, it will be run, validate, compile, test, package, verify, install, and then it will be do the mvn deploy. Okay. In case if you want, you can elaborate this mvn validate, what will happen, mvn compile, what will happen, everything you need to tell them. Okay. And the final one, right? mvn clean. When you do the mvn clean, what will happen? Whatever generated that particular target directory, it will be removed. Remember in real time, right? When you integrate with example Jenkins CI/CD tool. Okay, wherever, right? We always recommended to use mvn clean, and then you can give the command. Example, I'm giving the package. MVN clean package means first existing target directory, it will be delete, and then package means it will be generate the jar or war file inside the target directory. If you see here, earlier we removed, right? Now you can enter here. What will happen? First, it will be delete the existing target directory. If you check it here, if we go up a little bit, and here you can see the cleanup plugin using, and here you can see the deleting the specific target directory. Once you delete it, right, again it is done. Package means it will be validate compile plugin and also surefire plugin use, and then it is generated the war file. Now you can go ahead and check it here, ll command, and here you can see the target directory already exists. I mean, it is already again created, new target group created. The reason we did MVN clean package means first is clean the target directory, and then when you do that package, again next command it will run the package, right? It will be again it is created the target directory, there it is store the war file. Okay, any questions here? Any questions here? Understood, right? And here you have to remember one thing, guys. In real time, again I'm repeating, in real time, creating the projects, everything taking care of a developer only, not the DevOps team. But you should be aware of how the structure will be. That's why I have covered both Java-based application jar file and also web application war file. And you may ask question, Murli, here. In real time, mostly we won't be create the ER file. We always generate either jar or war file. Jar or war file. I hope you understood, right? How do we generate and how do we generate jar or war file? What are the build life cycles? What are the advantages? What are the uses of using build life cycles? Everything, right? Remember, again, I'm repeating. If you say like I'm not aware of build life cycles, they won't be hide you. Even they can easily to identify this guy is not working in the real time. The reason when you integrate with Jenkins, example CI/CD tool, there we will be integrate, right? During that time, you have to use that the specific build life cycles, what exactly how it will work. Okay, then only can you can use it to integrate with that one. I will show you later part the Jenkins part, how do we integrate everything, but you should be aware of this build life cycles. And also if they ask build life cycle, can you please explain the build life cycles? You have to tell step by step. Usually they will some people, right, what they will do, right, they will be tell like zigzag, like install, validate, compile, package, test, something like that. Highly recommend try to tell step by step. Hey, we have a multiple build life cycles, MVN validate, compile, test, package, verify, install, deploy. And also you need to explain what this command will do. When you use the MVN validate, it will be validate our project, pom.xml, whether whatever we define correct or not. When you use the compile, right, whatever .java files, it will be converted to .class files. MVN test means if you have any test classes .java files, it will convert to test classes .class files. Okay, similarly, you have to explain one by one so that they can easy to understand, okay, this person is work real time, and also he's good with, or she or he good with good expert on this particular Maven part. Okay, any questions now? And one more thing, don't worry, guys. We have a user registration, one of the microservice. So I will show you real-time related one also, how we will be do that. But before going to showcase real-time, first you will be understand. That's why I have created that sample Java and web application. Okay, any questions now? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via LinkedIn, Instagram, Telegram, and also we have Tech with Murali website. In this website, I already published all the DevOps related courses, DevOps, AWS, Kubernetes, Terraform, okay? And also help. If you are planning to enroll the course, you can come here and enroll it. Still, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. I will try to respond as soon as possible. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next video.